Just gone live, everybody. Here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to Global Education's Virtual Expo. We've got a lovely presentation for you today. We've got two key people from the Swiss Education Group that are here with us. You're going to meet Judith and Brandon here. We're both based in South Africa. Judith is in Cape Town and Brandon's in Joburg, and I'm here in Perth in Western Australia. So we're giving you that true sort of international sort of experience today. In today's webinar, you're going to learn a little bit about the institution, a little bit what it's going to take, the life and culture. We're going to have a discussion and a conversation as well with all your questions and your Q&A. So please put those questions into the chat box or the Q&A section, and we'll get to it after their presentation. And we won't be more than an hour, maybe hour and a half. So please do participate. And as always, welcome to the family. Judith, Brennan, there's around 8 people that have signed in so far, so I'm pretty happy that we just start straight away into it and hand over to the two of you.
Perfect.
Great, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Judith. I'm in Cape Town. Brandon's in Joburg, as mentioned. And yeah, we're really pleased to be spending this time with you. So look forward to taking you through our presentation. I'm just going to share our screen. And then, yeah, Brandon and I are going to tell you all about Switzerland.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. Sorry, Judith.
No problem. Also just, oh, sorry, no, I'm not opening that. Hold on. Can you all see my screen? Also, just to mention, Brandon and I are both alumni. So we studied at the Swiss Hotel Management School. So it's quite nice because we can give you our personal experience. Yeah, so let's get into it. So 5 reasons to study in Switzerland, number of different things, and then you're all considering different angles, but our 5 key reasons: we offer a strong and robust economy. We're one of the most innovative countries in the world. Top of the class for higher education, extremely high quality of life, and we are home to many international organizations, which yeah, just adds to our credibility and reason for choosing Switzerland. In terms of home to many international organizations, these are just a few of the organizations in Switzerland: FIFA, International Red Cross, International Olympic Committee, and United Nations. Most innovative country. So Switzerland has the most Nobel Prizes and registered patents per capita than any other nation. So that's really good to know, including the World Wide Web, zippers, and the light bulb. From a strong and robust economy, this is with regard to the service sector, financial services, high-tech manufacturing industry, multinational corporations, and then also luxury brands. You'll find all of their headquarters are in Switzerland. For example, Nestle, Piguet, Procter & Gamble, and Breguet watches. In terms of top of the class for higher education, we rank number 4 in the top 10 places in the world to study abroad. This is Switzerland. And interestingly, in the QS Global Rankings, we actually rank number 1, where all 5 of our Swiss Education Group schools are actually in the top 10. And the 2021 results came out this week, and we once again have maintained that. So we're very, very proud of this. We offer an international and multicultural environment, and then just educational quality and excellence. It really is 5-star. High quality of life. So Switzerland's been ranked number 1 by the US News for education, democracy, business, and quality of life. And it's been ranked this for 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and we're still waiting for 2021's results. We've got the best healthcare services in Europe, extremely reliable transportation system, and one of the safest and most crime-free countries, which when coming from Africa was certainly a big consideration for my family. They wanted to make sure I was going somewhere safe and that they wouldn't have to worry about me. And it's definitely the case in Switzerland. And yeah, so that was a big, Switzerland's never in the news for anything other than banking or good things predominantly. And it's a extremely beautiful and naturally clean and pristine environment. We're in the heart of Europe. We've got a thriving tourist destination with Europe's most developed transportation network. There's easy access to and from London, Paris, Milan, Barcelona, Frankfurt, and more. As you can see, there's a little red map. That's Switzerland. It really is literally in the heart of Europe. Brandon, over to you.
Great, thank you, Judy. So who we are, as mentioned with our Curious rankings, we are very proud of that. Actually, one of our schools, the Culinary Arts Academy, is #1 in the world. So that is quite a big thing. And as Judy mentioned, the rest are all under the top 10. SAG is the largest hospitality and business education group in Switzerland, and it has over 35 years of experience. So as you can see, we've been around for quite some time. We've got 4 schools over 6 different campuses. Now, it's important to note here that the different campuses focuses on the different specializations within hospitality. So there's not just one specific route that you will take. There's different specializations on all these campuses. Can you go to the next slide for me? Will you drive me there, please, Jude?
Sure, no problem.
And then, so the languages that they speak, so you can pretty much see where we are situated very much in the Swiss and German part of Switzerland, really in the Swiss Alps, so absolutely spectacular and beautiful. The official languages is German, French, Italian, and Romansh. It's very important to note, though, that all your classes will be in English, but there will be a compulsory additional language that you have to take. And that's really cool because, you know, you'll get to learn another language.
And add it to your CV, which just makes you, in an international job market, and languages on your CV are very powerful. So that's a big thing, particularly in hospitality.
5 reasons why SAG is your preferred choice. Obviously, it's our prestigious schools and the rankings. It's the wide range of programs, as I've mentioned, the different specializations on the different campuses, which we'll get into a little bit later on. You're making lifelong connections, and I think both Judy and I can vouch that this has really helped our careers. We're both entrepreneurs. And you know, this has really helped us specifically on international platforms to get that connection. I always say that, you know, studying at SAG wasn't just an investment for the 3 or 4 years that we were there for, it's an investment for life. So there's the real return on investment because of the connections that we make. Also the international career options, and this is always a big favorite, especially with South Africans. We all want that global experience. And this is where they will provide you with that platform. And also then their partnership and Alumni Network. As Judy has mentioned, I'm the chapter president for South Africa, and we keep this network going till this day. SAG supports it and backs it with funds and platforms, and they're very innovative in this way. They keep us together, they keep us networking with each other so that we always know of the latest trends and are able to network globally. Judy, maybe you can go on, yeah?
Perfect. So we, across our campuses, and as mentioned, we've got 6 different campuses, 4 schools, 6 campuses. We've got over 6,000 students enrolled at one time. But this, again, it's important, it's across those campuses. So campuses are not huge. We're looking at 400, 500 per campus at most. And yeah, that's, you know, so you certainly, you're not a statistic. It's very much relationship based, and it's, we don't want, you never feel like a statistic. You're starting with over 100 different nationalities, which just adds to that global village, which we're all becoming a part of. You're studying with people from all over the world, and you're learning to interact with them, to work with them. You put in groups with them, you're having to do projects with them. And it just prepares you for real life working experience where that happens. You know, you'll be on a team in your job in London with people from all over the world, and you've got to learn to work with them and, you know, break cultural barriers, language barriers. You know, it's a part of what we need to know for the working world. We offer what we call the SAG International Recruitment Forum. This is one of the largest career events in Europe. We're extremely proud of it. It's an incredible platform. It happens twice a year. It's only accessible to our students. And it's a very, very powerful networking tool. We've got all the biggest names in the industry coming to recruit our students, and we'll take you through it in a bit more detail a few slides down. But just it's one of the employability is very important for us as a group. And we've got one of the largest hospitality alumni networks in the world, as mentioned by Brandon. And this is a very strong network of people. We connect in all sorts of ways, across platforms, across the world. And we're a powerful group of people that are not just, business partners. It's prospective employers, it's contacts, it's suppliers, it's clients. So it's a very powerful network. From a student life point of view, it's nothing compares. It's phenomenal. Switzerland offers students year-round opportunities for outdoor activities, from mountain biking to river rafting, sailing, water skiing, golf, horseback riding, paragliding, snow skiing, you name it, you can do it. And it's phenomenal. Also, our campuses, we run multiple events are organized by our Student Ambassador Forum, from ski trips to excursions around Switzerland, sports days, theme nights. There's always something on the go. There's definitely absolutely no time to paint your fingernails, none for that. You are either studying or you are enjoying your time in Switzerland. And we also do student organized international day events, which is a great way to share cultures. We do student run banquets and a range of other cultural activities. From a global internship point of view, so part of hospitality is the work experience side, which is really important, and part of your curriculum, depending on which of your schools you would choose, should you want to progress discussions further with us, would be a work experience component. And there's 2 compulsory work experience components within your curriculum, and we recommend doing your first one in Switzerland, where the minimum wage in Switzerland is 2,200 Swiss francs, which is a great starting salary. I think it's equivalent of 35,000 Rand. And I actually chose to do my first internship in Sydney, Australia. I did that with the Marriott Group, and I did my second in London with the Hyatt Group. And that just that international work experience on my CV was extremely powerful, extremely strong. And then once you've done your 3-year program, 3.5 years, and actually you have a year's work experience on your CV, and you're just a lot more attractive to prospective employers with that work experience. You've put the time and you've done the groundwork, and you're ready for that next layer of experience. Our partnerships. So we partner with industry leaders who share their expertise with students and provide them with work opportunities. And this is done in a number of tiers. So you can see here our 4 schools. So we've got Caesar Ritz Colleges, Culinary Arts Academy, Hotel Institute Montreux, and the Swiss Hotel Management School. We'll take you through the details of the specializations per school in a few slides' time. But just you can see, so our academics, so if we look at this layer, our academic partnerships, we've got university partnerships at every level. So Caesar Ritz Colleges, our academic partnerships here are with Washington State University and University of Derby. Culinary Arts Academy, our partnership here is with University of Derby. Hotel Institute Montreux, our partnership here is with Northwood University in the US. And Swiss Hotel Management School, our partnership is with University of Derby. Then we've got our various industry accreditations and affiliations. There's quite a few here for me to go through, so I won't mention those, but you'll get these in the notes. But these are all the key industry accreditations and affiliations to have, and they are world class. And then we've got our industry partnerships, and again, this is just based on the reputation we've built in the industry, and the relationships that we've built and maintained over our 35 years of experience. And again, you can see all the big names here. Depending on the school of interest, we've got our industry partnerships there, and the industry partnerships from guest lectures to work experience exchanges. We've got a range of different partnerships there. Career services. So yeah, employability. We don't want our students to just have a very fancy degree once they finish with us. We want them to get a good job, and a good job that will take them across continents, you know, and across countries, across cities, and to be able to do what they want to do with their careers. So our career services is very important to us as the Swiss Education Group, and we offer a range of different tools here to highlight what we aim to do. It's to empower students' development by providing them with the tools to be successful. We want to enhance the quality of each student's search with tailored career opportunities. And we want to engage with members of our community, from students, parents, faculty, alumni, corporate partners, to nurture and develop key relationships. We provide individual and group coaching sessions. We provide CV and cover letter creation and revival, as well as assistance with company research, conducting mock interviews. There's a range of different things we do from a career point of view that just aid and assist our students from a career point of view. Brandon, if you want to talk about our alumni network again.
Yes, so as I mentioned before, I'm one of the chapter presidents for South Africa. And so our job is really to keep this network going and keep our members together. Obviously, because we're a global industry, you'll find that at any alumni event, there will be alumni from across the globe, whether you're in South Africa, Hong Kong, London, Paris, doesn't matter where you are. But what's really great about this is the statistics that are on this slide, and it's probably one of the most important slides, because as I said, you can see that this is going to be an investment in your future, not only to get this prestigious degree, but also an investment for life, because you're basically buying into this network. So 90% of job offers happen on graduation day, and that's really thanks to the International Recruitment Forum, which we'll get into a little bit later on. We've got 32 chapter presidents around the globe, and then 80% of our alumni currently work in the hospitality, tourism, or culinary sectors. They also in business consultancy, education, finance, and healthcare. So as you can see, we really have well-rounded degrees, and we are recruited within various sectors of industries. And then 5 years after graduating, almost 90% of our alumni hold management positions or have created their own company. Now that statistic is quite important, because you can see when you have a Swiss degree within this industry, you are definitely seen in a different light, and you're immediately employed at a higher level. So the IRF, the International Recruitment Forum, which we've been talking about so much, we're very proud of this. It's a fantastic platform, and you know, as much as we can sit here and tell you how wonderful SCG is and it was so great and good for our career, I think the statistics speak for itself, and this is probably the most important slide out of the entire presentation. This shows you that this institution is really reputable. And why I say that is because we have over 120 recruiters representing 30 countries globally. Now, I always say that the industry will not come to us if they didn't feel that we were producing quality graduates. Over this time, it's a 2-day expo that happens twice a year at one of the expo centers close to all of our campuses. Over this time, there's about 600 international job opportunities available, and 1,200 interviews are conducted per day. So yeah, you can see, basically, if you attend this platform, you know, you will walk away with several job offers. Myself, I mean, I walked away with about 9 job offers when I attended the International Recruitment Forum, and they were from across the globe. So I could really pick and choose as to where I wanted to go. These are some of the organizations and some of our partners. So you can see it's really the top brands that actually come and recruit our graduates. Jimirai, Kapinski, you can see the IHG Group, Booking.com, but even the banks like the Swiss banks, UBS, the airlines, Shangri-La hotels. So really Disneyland, if that's your vibe. So really across the board, all the quality brands come out to recruit our graduates, and will be present at the International Recruitment Forum.
All the really big names in the industry. This is this is one of my favorite slides. So just to talk about the school specifically now, so we'll go through each one, just give a high-level intro to them so that you've got an understanding of what that school represents. So Caesar Ritz College of Switzerland. This is a leading business school with entrepreneurship and innovation at its heart. This is very much for students who want to learn how to lead in the hospitality and to lead in hospitality and business through the application of innovation and entrepreneurship. So it's very much, we've got two campuses here. We've got Lucerne and Le Bouvray. Our Caesar Ritz students share campus with our culinary arts students. So it's great from a diverse student profile point of view. And very proud of Caesar Ritz colleges. It's extremely reputable in the industry, and and as mentioned, the specializations are entrepreneurship, tourism, and with our foundation being hospitality. Culinary Arts Academy. So this is very much, if you have a passion for food, you have a career for life. And this is for students who want to become top chefs and or foodpreneurs. And it's as mentioned, two campuses we're sharing with Caesar Ritz colleges, Bouvray and Lucerne. But at our Bouvray is where our bachelor students go, and our Swiss Grand Diploma students. And then our pastry and chocolate art students go to the Lucerne campus. So it just depends on which program you'd want to pursue. But there's a range of different programs offered, and again. Just to mention there, we offer undergrad, postgrad, and master's programs at most of our schools, at all of our schools. So it just depends on which level you'd want to go to, but that's detail we can get into at a later point, and we'll provide to you. Also, just to mention, all of our schools are former 5-star hotels. So students are living, eating, sleeping, working, playing in a former 5-star environment. And this was for my family making a decision for me to study overseas. They were so relieved to know that everything would be done under one roof, and they didn't have to worry about me having to rent an apartment and then travel to and from the apartment, then buy groceries, and everything was done on campus and catered for, provided for, and they didn't have to worry. Hotel Institute Montreux. So this is the home of specialized business and hospitality management. As the name suggests, this is located in Montreux. Montreux is the home of Freddie Mercury, Tina Turner, and Elton John. So students can see them particularly around Montreux Jazz Festival time, which when it happens is in the summer. HIM, as we refer to it, is for students who want a business degree with the option to specialize in hospitality. So it's based on American business management principles. Our university partner is Northwood University. And specializations here are your human resources, your finance, your marketing, and general business management. And then Swiss Hotel Management School. So this is where both Brandon and I, as I mentioned, are alumni from. And this is the contemporary Swiss Hospitality Management School. This is for students who want an international career, creating cutting-edge hospitality experiences. The specializations offered at this school are events, food and beverage, pure hospitality, and then wellness, spa and wellness, which is a growing trend in the industry. Our alumni, so just, I won't go into the details here, but these are just some highlights from what our alumni have done and what they say, and basically we all speak the same. We've got the same message. We're very grateful for the opportunity that we had to study in Switzerland, the experience that it gave us, the foundation it gave us to build the experience on top of that. And it's largely shaped where it's taken us in our lives, where we've gone, what we've done, and what we'll continue to do. Just a few further quotes there, but it's nice to see where everyone is, what they're doing. So whether they've started their own business or they're working in corporate, our alumni have gone on to do some pretty impressive things. Also, just to make sure that we are, have responded accordingly, it's important to us to acknowledge the global pandemic that we've all been through, and to take note of our responses to this. So we've ensured we've proactively responded with a range of different health and safety measures on campus, from daily temperature checks, use of face masks, additional cleaning, disinfectant is available everywhere. Medical assistance is provided in any case of. We've got optimized classroom allocation and restaurant usage. Large public gatherings and unnecessary social activities are minimized, and everything's done within government restrictions. Quarantine measures are in place for students from high-risk countries or who are displaying symptoms. We have a virtual learning environment for anyone in quarantine or who is unwell in any way. And we've got an on-campus gym and recreational activities available, so students are not having to do anything off campus. In terms of the entry requirements for Switzerland, so for the SEG group, so it's a six-part application process. So first is our submission of our high school transcripts and diploma. Then it's our English test, which as a South African citizen where English is your first language, this is not necessary. Then we need to submit a motivation letter. This is a minimum of 550 words. We do also have students opting to do video motivation videos. So that's also a growing trend, so also an option. We need to submit our CV. Again, you know, with graduates or with students starting their studies, they may not have extensive experience, if any, but it's just the start of that building structure. We assist with this full process, just how to do it, what to include, what to exclude. Then there's a recommendation letter. So this is a reference letter, a copy of your passport, and one photograph. So those are our part of the entry process and procedures. Yeah, so that is the formal side of the presentation from us. And now we can go over to some questions and answers.
Great. Judith and Brent, thanks for those insights. And it's great to see both two alumni talking about, you know, you can see them presenting what they know of. And I think we're all itching to ask you some real insights. What are the classes like? You look at those photos and you've got people there, you know, dressed up in suits. It looks like in a classroom setting. Are they just photos, or is that what it's like? Is everyone sort of dressed up in that environment? What's those classes like?
So yeah, it is. I mean, as we said, as Judy mentioned, on campus, it is, you eat, sleep and breathe hospitality. They really mold you in becoming that Swiss hotelier. And also they teach you that Swiss hospitality touch, as we call it. So yes, as you see on the photos, that's actual photos of campus life and what the classrooms look like. You are required to wear a uniform. As you know, within all hospitality institutions across the globe, that is just how we have to be and how we have to be dressed. So yeah, you do have that environment. It's also important to note that we're also one of the most technologically advanced schools in the world. We have a relationship with Apple, and all of the classes and internet cafes are all kitted out with all Apple equipment. As part of your tuition fees, you will also receive an iPad on arrival. So yes, I mean, even if you're doing a presentation, you basically just airdrop from your iPad and you do the presentation on the monitor. So all very formal, very cool classes, but also small and interactive. Because it's a private institution, you really get that attention in a one-on-one setting.
Yeah, you know, the more I listen to you speak, the more I'm thinking of, you know, my time in working in hospitality and how I still use everything that I learned in my daily business life. You know, you think of hospitality, generally people will be like, oh, waitering, managing a restaurant, managing a hotel. But, you know, as the one slide that you pointed out, one person was a recruitment manager for a global entity that's, you know, out of the industry. It's just great to see that it transcends. What's one thing you would like to tell students for their own careers that would help them help them get a little bit more of a, what's the word, a real international experience at the Swiss Hotel or any of the Swiss Hotel schools. What's one thing you want the student to really take note of this webinar?
Okay, I think we've lost Judy there. I'll answer the question. I think
this opportunity to go and study in Switzerland,
okay.
it's make the most of it. There's an unbelievable, it's not accessible to a lot of people, and it's studying overseas is expensive, and studying in Switzerland is expensive. While you're there, make the most of every single opportunity that comes your way. Put your hand up in classes, ask questions, introduce yourself to the lecturers. Really, it's make the most of it.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, I think they give you all the tools, and everything is available to you. You just basically need to really make use of it. Make use of those opportunities that they throw at you. The IRF, go and attend. With the internship opportunities, make sure you introduce yourself to the officers and tell them where you want to go and what you want to achieve and what your long-term goals are. If you want to become a world famous chef, you need to tell them you want to go do an internship in a Michelin star restaurant somewhere in Europe, and it's all there. You just really have to make use of it.
Yeah, I think that's the big positive for us with Swiss Hotel Schools is the support that students get. We field so many questions about all the different universities we represent, and one of the key questions is what support do they give to students in terms of looking for jobs, CVs, and going through your presentation today. It was great to see the IRF, I believe you said, the recruitment drive there. That's fantastic that an asset like that's available to students. Is there like mental health support and things like that as well? Somebody who's going through a bit of problems or stress related and likes to just sort of get some things off their chest. Do the schools offer something like that?
Yeah, we've got so medical insurance is also included in our fees. So that's a great point just to make. And from a support point of view, part of the application form is you're just going through your medical history and alerting us to anything that we may need to be aware of. So then the team on the ground in Switzerland, they're aware of that. But if anything comes up, during studies, oftentimes I've actually been contacted by a mom just to say, please be aware of X, Y, and Z condition with my daughter. We'll then contact the team in Switzerland, ask them to just make sure she's getting just someone to speak to. If we need to progress it further, we do. It's very much, you become part of a family. It's relationship based. It's personal. It's service, and it's 5-star service. It's not, as I mean, you're not a statistic.
And from an academic point of view, that support is there as well. I mean, because it's a private institution and it's small classes. So, if you're perhaps falling behind or struggling with something, you do have a mentor that's on each campus that can assist you and help you through the process. But also, it's a European system, so a lot of the work is teamwork. And I found, having come from a South African system and going into this European system, that was really valuable to me. Everybody was there to help each other, and we all have our weaknesses. But we stood together as a team and made sure that we achieved the results that was necessary. And I think that's really key. So you'll never feel left out or that you're falling behind. There's always that support from a lecture point of view, but also your classmates.
What's the average size of a class? I mean, you mentioned small. Are we talking 15, 10, 5? What are the numbers?
20, 25. That's what we're looking at. Yeah.
And all on the culinary side. I think the culinary side is actually between 12 and 15.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's great to have that personal feel to it, especially in an industry that is, at the forefront of, and people laugh when we say this, cleanliness. We've got through a pandemic in terms of people keeping safe in that, and one of the key essential workers has been people in hotels. Here in Australia, we have quarantine with all the hotels around the world as well. The same thing, and a lot of essential works coming out of that. Has there been a big focus on students that are studying overseas, or is most of all students that come to Switzerland, were they all during COVID, were they all there on campus? And were there any students that were stuck up overseas and home? We had one question from a student that was asking, were they able to come back into Switzerland, or were they stuck outside?
Yeah. So just, I mean, some opted to stay, to defer to the next intake, or to just the next term. But we didn't have anyone stuck out of country. We obviously had to just what was happening per the government restrictions, comply with that. But we managed that. And as soon as new students were able to get back to Switzerland, we did that. You know, when we were all under severe lockdown, it was on a virtual learning environment. And any students who also didn't, you know, wanted to return home, they were able to. And then they would just go in the virtual learning environment.
And because they're international students, we could get repatriation flights for them out of the country, and they could all get back onto campus. And then obviously the protocols were followed on campus in terms of sanitizing and temperature and quarantine for a few days. You know, all those things were followed depending on which level of lockdown Switzerland was in. But yeah, nobody was stuck on that side or stuck on this side. It was really your decision as to how you wanted to go about it.
Yeah. We got a question from a student here that was asking about intakes and cutoff dates and things like that. Do you accept applicants all throughout the year, or do you funnel them through certain parts of the year?
All throughout the year, and then our intakes, so depending on the school, so Caesar Ritz Colleges, Culinary Arts Academy and Hotel Institute Montreux, our intakes there are January, April, July and October. And then for Swiss Hotel Management School, our intakes are February and September.
Brilliant. To everybody who's watching this recording, who's not on this webinar and seeing it, please get in touch with Global, who can get you directly to have a conversation with Judith and Brandon, and you know, go through the application in detail as well. Just put the plug in there as well for that. Brandon, I've got a question for you. You were mentioning when you were talking on your slides about the different partnerships and different businesses that are there. Why those types of businesses? Why is that such a high level of partnership? Is that because of that pristine 5-star rating with all the colleges, and that's sort of the reputation that they're trying to set? Was that more from a business point of view, or was that more of like an Ivy League institution, for example, where they focus just on engineering or just on niche sort of services? The Swiss Hotel's all about the elite. It's about the best of the best in hotel schools. And why I'm asking, why is that such a big focus for the Swiss Hotel Group? A lot of students are asking, you know, why can't I go study in Australia or USA, for example, at a generic university? So I wanted to sort of get an answer for these students, say, hey, you're looking at hospitality or looking even at business, why don't consider the Swiss Hotel School? So if you go into that corporation that you had spoken about earlier.
Yeah, look, I think obviously, first of all, it's the birthplace of hospitality, and just having that Swiss stamp, it just immediately, you know, I think Jody and I can both vouch for it. It just puts you in a different league immediately. And also, I think what we are taught on campus, you know, they call it this, in French, they call it savoir-faire. And it's a skill that they teach you that's very difficult to translate anywhere else in the world. It's that little something, almost like an X factor. And you only really find that out after you've graduated, that you have this something that's very unique. And then if you unpack it and you go back and you look at it, you realize that it's the 3 years of being on campus in that Swiss environment with the Swiss lecturers that has taught you to be that individual within hospitality. And now you're able to transfer that into the work environment. And I think that's what makes SEG so valuable. And obviously these recruiters and these organizations and these global firms see that once they conduct that interview with you. And that's why they keep on coming back. And that's why we just get better and better organizations recruiting our graduates. So yeah, I think in a nutshell, it's that savoir-faire, the X factor of the Swiss.
It's such a good example, that, and I do hope people are listening into that, because it is such competitive now. You know, there's so many more students studying around the world across different universities, and you know, you look at in the recruitment industry. You know, most roles out of a basic degree are asking for work experience. You know, what sets you aside, and what sets that difference. So I really appreciate what you guys are doing out of Switzerland for that. You know, anything that helps students to set themselves apart, it's something to take advantage of. So I do hope people are listening into this and will contact you both directly.
Stunning. Thank
Judith,
you.
We were having a chat earlier before the webinar, and talking about sort of, you know, life and travel and you know, our own experiences. What's one takeaway from being in Switzerland with the culture of the people there that you want students to know of? The welcoming side of Switzerland, or the what was the word that was to me? The directness of the Swiss. You know, what's one thing you can give to people an insight into the culture there?
Yeah, so it was
chocolate and cheese.
Chocolate and cheese.
I'm just joking.
There's that too. There's that too. No, I think it was, yeah, it was the standard of, so Brandon's spoken about the savoir-faire, which you've hit the nail on the head. It was exactly that, you know, from the campus life and that differentiator. But it, yeah, I think just general Switzerland, it was and adding on to that savoir-faire, or complementing it, it's just the level of precision. The Swiss don't do anything at 4 or 3 or 4 stars. Everything's 5-star. Everything's done with a level of excellence, and it really it's a stamp on your CV that you can't compete with. It's the best of the best, and it's that Swiss stamp of excellence. So it's something to aspire to. It's something you immediately present yourself in a different way. You immediately speak in a different way. You become a part of that culture of excellence, and that sets you apart when you go into the global marketplace. And as Brandon mentioned, the job offers he had on graduation day, I was in a similar position. I had 4 job offers on 4 different continents. And that for me was such a position of choice and strength, because I could make the decision. I didn't have to take the first thing, the only thing that I was offered. And similarly, when I came back to South Africa, I opted to come back to South Africa to pursue my career here. Once I'd done my time overseas, coming back here, I went for, I think it was 12 different interviews. From that, I got 10 job offers. And most of those interviews I got because I had that Swiss stamp on my CV. And the 2 that I always like to mention, the 2 job offers I didn't get were, I was being a bit cheeky and I went for quite a senior role. But, I got those interviews based on Switzerland, based on that standard. And yeah, it's largely shaped where I've gone with my career.
You know, it's great hearing these stories. It sort of gives you an insight into, you don't just go to a university or even, a hotel group to go and, just learn. You go there to network. You go there to meet different people, to excel yourself. With the network and the alumni network, is it like, just an email blast that you'll get once you graduate, or is there continual events for the alumni? Go into a little bit more of that connectivity that happens once you postgraduate and then for the rest of your life. I've got friends who are from the Swiss Hotel Management School as well. And, from my own experience dealing with these guys, is they're constantly always talking about it. It's amazing. It always comes up in conversation, the alumni network. whether they're in Hong Kong or in LA, they always seem to meet somebody who knows somebody that studied at that school.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think, yeah, so we have this platform that we call Connect, and I think we're busy going through a rebrand. We're going to call it something else, but for the moment, it's still that. And it works on the same basis as LinkedIn. And so what happens is you get a login for life. Once you arrive on campus, your very first day, you receive this login. And you get this, and you have access to this for the rest of your life. And what it is that you keep on updating your profile on this network. And say, for instance, today I've had enough of South Africa, and I now want to go work in, let's say, Dubai, for argument's sake. I would then go onto this platform and start searching for alumni that's currently working there, and ask them for the job opportunities that are available at the properties or the institutions that they're working at. And so we actually recruit within. So I always say the best jobs are not with the recruiters or on the internet. It's actually within Connect. In hospitality, that's where you're going to find the good jobs, because we obviously then know of the caliber of graduates and the work experience. We know who we're dealing with. We tend to recruit within. So that network is there. Then the face-to-face interaction, SG is really good like that. They still, as a chapter president, I have a budget every year that they provide me with. And that is for at least 3 to 4 networking events that they fully sponsor in order for us to keep the network going. And we will then invite all of the alumni from South Africa to attend. And then we'll keep that network going, which is really cool. And then the third thing, so you can see they really invest in their alumni, is that they I think it's every 5 years, yes, every 5 years, they do the global alumni event. Judy and I actually attended the one 2 years ago. And this is where we all get back together in Switzerland, and all alumni from across the globe actually attend this function. And this is really, again, just a get together, a nice cocktail, great dinner, obviously prepared by all of our newbies, and we all network and make new connections. So
it was 4 years ago, so we're going to be going
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, 4 years. It felt like the other day, but yeah. So it's really, it's really fantastic. They really spend a lot of time, energy, and money into keeping the alumni going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think there's nothing more I can really add to this, in terms of what I look for. And if I had a child that I was looking to send in hospitality, what I would ask are these exact same questions that students have asked us to ask you to. So it's great to see that, and it's great to sort of get that insights from you. Can I ask last takeaway points before we end the webinar? What do you, what's your takeaway? What do you want students to be aware of? One thing, whether it's we've discussed already or something we haven't discussed, what's one takeaway point for somebody to remember this conversation?
I'll go first. So I think one thing I do want to mention, we haven't touched on it already yet, but while we are hospitality focused, there's a very large portion of our programs are business. So it's hospitality and business, and that's what's transferable across industries, and it is. So it's not. I think we can get caught up where we just hospitality. We are largely hospitality, but we've got a strong component of business in our programs, and that you can take across industries. So and that combination is really good. You're not just taught to pursue into a corporate path. We also teach you your own, the entrepreneurship side, and we provide different pathways depending on what students want to do. But yeah, that component of hospitality and business is an important part of our programs.
And you're doing practical work with that business as well. You're not just doing business theory, you're actually applying it within that environment. From a sales point of view, speaking every day with people. I mean, it's one of the hardest things to do is sales. So I do appreciate what you said there, Judith.
Yeah, and for me, I think I would like to reiterate on that savoir-faire, that X factor that they teach you. Just remember to keep that in mind when you're choosing a hospitality institution to study at. If you're serious about hospitality, keep that in mind. You know, they teach you this very skill that is so unique, that I haven't seen in any other hospitality graduates across the globe. And I think you're going to get that little something special. That's not only your qualification, but a skill that nobody else has. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind when choosing a hospitality institution to study at, if you're serious about this industry.
Great. I'd like to thank you both for giving us your Friday evening. We do appreciate it, and for everybody that did sign in. I've had a couple of messages from the teams who've had power cuts in Joburg as well, and in Durban. So we do apologize, but we also want everybody to know that it is recorded and we will be sharing it across the network. If you signed up directly with us, you will be getting a package with information from us, with all the contact details, and you know, in due course you'll be meeting again from the two. It's not the last time we'll be hearing from Judith and Brandon on these webinars, and hopefully in person once we get back to a normal life post the pandemic. So thank you everyone for joining us, and Judith, Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
It's always that awkward part at the end when everyone's like, wait, should
I leave?
Should I say something? Shouldn't I?
It's the bloopers reel of a movie.
Yeah, it's great. We're recording, so we're still recording now. It's still live, and it's just great. We've got all these bloopers at the end of all these webinars, so it's
That's
great.
so
So on this
cool.
one, the three of us having a laugh here, and on that note, I'm going to cheers, guys, and
cheers.
We'll be in touch soon.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Keep well, hey.
Going for a glass of wine now.
Yeah.
Great to be there.
Cheers, hey.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.